Hi, my name is Linda McGehee, and I love sewing and playing with all sorts of projects that I can share with my friends. I'm constantly looking for quick and easy things for beginners or for the established stitcher to play with on their machine. And it could be a sewing machine project, it could be embroidery or serging. And this little project that I want to show you will work with either one of those. So it doesn't matter what you like to do, you can make a cord manager. Now, a cord manager in my mind is something that keeps those cords, those ornery little cords that we have, that we use nowadays for ear pods, cell phones, everything else that we use electronic. And the cords need to stay organized. So what I've done is use a circle, a simple shape, and put a snap on it. So today I'm going to show you how to put the snap on. But before we get that far, let's take a look at how this can bounce into other little projects too. Now I mentioned you could use the serger. If you wanted to use the serger, just serge around the edge. A square shape is better than a circle. No big deal. It's square instead of a circle. You could use the sewing machine to stitch around the edge, or you could use computerized embroidery. It's sort of a choice. Now I've taken this little bag and actually added a pocket to it, and it's sort of my travel sewing kit. So I have a couple of pins, there's a bobbin of thread in there, and there's actually a needle too. So I can close it up, and cute little sewing kit. If you've got larger cords to deal with, you may want to make a larger circle. Smaller cords, smaller circle. To begin with, we need a stabilizer of sorts. And there's stabilizer that's foam. There's stabilizer that's more or less like a little cardboardy that's fusible. I've gotten so I really do like the foams, particularly if I'm working with an embroidery design throughout. And one of my favorite new products is Deco Magic. It's very thin, it's fusible on one side, and it will give the stability to the fabric that I need to prevent this project from not disintegrating, but to hold its shape. So, what are we going to do to begin with? We will take our stabilizer and sandwich it between two pieces of fabric so that the right side is showing on the outside. Now, fusing has taken on new meaning lately, and you need to look at the manufacturer's instructions to see whether the stabilizer requires steam to fuse or whether you should use a dry iron. So always double check the manufacturer's instructions for holding these layers together. So we're going to fuse the layers together and then add our stitching, either embroidery, serger, or sewing machine around the outside edge, so that you create something that looks like this. Now that I've talked about a lot of the things that you can do with these little circles, we really need to get to the business at hand, and that is to show you how you can put a snap in. So let's take a look at the parts that are used in inserting a snap. First of all, you're going to have the cap. And I like to use double caps, which means I have a pretty cap on both sides of my project. Traditionally, when you're using a cap on a garment, you may have a ring that goes on the underneath side. So it depends upon how you purchase the snaps. We have at Ghees.com collections of all pretty caps because that's how I'm using the snaps. So we have the caps, and then you have the stud and the socket. So the socket has a hole in it, and the stud has sort of a little outie on it. So we have outies and innies, as I like to refer to it sometimes too. So you will only need one of each of those in putting together the set to go on our cord manager. And I'm going to use this pretty embroidery that I've created to attach the snap, and the yellow kind of goes along with the yellow stitching that's on the inside. So I need to decide where to position, and I think I'm going to let the point of that embroidery lead to where I want the snap to go. You'll notice that the snap has prongs on the back side, so you will place the prongs in your fabric where you want the snap to go. And you need a special tool. And this is the easiest tool I've found to add snaps. It's from the Snap Source. We have those on our website too. You need the tool to attach the snaps. It's a 3-piece tool. The bottom is your base, and it's referred to as the base. It also has size 16, which is the size snap that we're working with today. And that's the basic snap size that you see on most. You can go larger, you can go smaller, but this is the base size. And that little cup that's on the base is going to be important to us. So we're going to do this kind of backwards than you might think. So we're going to lay the cap upside down onto that insertion area. And the second part of my tool has a little rectangular hole that lines up on one end, and there is a hole for the prongs to come through. We're next going to place, and I like to do the stud first. So we'll place the stud up in the hole, place the third piece of the tool on top, and we'll take a hammer and we'll give it a couple of whacks. So lift the top piece, the middle piece, and lo and behold, you have a pretty snap on the outside of your circle. Now the reason that I wanted to use the outie first is because when I fold this in half, and I've got some measuring here that on the table that I can work with, make sure it's in the center. When I feel the stud, I know the position of the snap on the other side. So we're going to place the cap in position, put it down, upside down, take the centerpiece and match the rectangular holes so the prongs are sticking up, and we're ready for the socket. Now when you look at the socket, it's kind of hard to tell what's the top and what's the bottom. Now on one side you can see that there's sort of a ring in the center. On the other side it's more rounded. Or another thing you can do, if you close your eyes and feel the top and the bottom is more rounded. So the rounded will go down. We'll place the third part of the tool on top, give it a few whacks, and we have attached our socket on the other side. So we are now ready to roll with the new cord manager. Isn't that slick? Nice and easy. Really fun, quick projects. And you know, everybody nowadays, it doesn't matter what age they are, can use a cord manager of sorts. So have fun playing with snaps as you make some cord managers for every member of the family. Put their monogram on it, use their special color. You can separate them to match anything that they like. Playing with snaps can be so much fun. I hope you've enjoyed playing or taking a look at some of the ideas that I've used with snaps. And please go to our website at ghees.com where you can purchase any of these products to finish your craft ideas. Thanks for joining me.